Good day, ma'am. Good day, everyone. I am Jabel P. Sagusay from Base HM 3B, and this is my Chapter 2, the Philippine Constitution. So before that, we have the learning objectives. So first is identify important provision in the Philippine Constitution related to tourism and travel. Then enumerate the rights of travelers as well as entities engaged in the entire tourism, travel, and hospitality industry, and organized industry research. So first, what is the Constitution? So the Constitution is defined as the original and the fundamental principles of law by which a system of government is created and according to which a country is governed. It is the fundamental law of the land to which all other laws must conform. It is the written instrument by which the fundamental powers of the government and establishment limited and defined, and by which those power and distribute among several department for their safe and useful exercise for the benefits of body politics. So, Bill of Rights. So, according to Article 3, Bill of Rights and Article 12, or National Economy and Patrimony rather, are some of the Constitution provision related to tourism which may be given preferential attention. First, the Bill of Rights. So, Section 1, no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, and property without due process of law, nor shall any person be denied the equal protection of the laws. So, under the Constitution, the term life, of which a person may not be deprived without due process, means more than animal existence, with the emphasis of social and economic rights. At present, life include and the very least of right to a decent living. And according to Justice Malcolm, liberty means that measure of freedom which may be enjoyed in a civilized community consistently with the peaceful enjoyment of life and freedom in others. Also, liberty includes the right to be free to use his faculties in all lawful ways, to live and work where he will, to learn his livelihood by any lawful calling, to pursue any vocation, and for that purpose, to enter into all contacts which may be proper, necessary, and essential to his carrying out these purposes to a successful conclusion. Liberty is a freedom to do right and never wrong. It guided by reason and upright and honorable conscience of the individual. Property is defined as anything which is or may be the object of the appropriation, anything which has money value and which is supposed to be within the commerce of man and embraced in the term property. The right to earn one daily wage and the right to engage in business in likewise property. Then, equal protection of the law means, so a person similarly situated should be similarly treated. There should be no more favoritism. Then the benefits of membership is state and as well as the burden should be distributed in equal measure. Unfortunately, of treatment should be the rule. Due process of law. Due process of law means is a law which herebefore in condemns, which proceed upon inquiry and render judgment after trial. So the due process of law does not necessarily means a judicial proceeding and the regular court. The guarantee of the due process view in the procedural aspect requires a particular form of procedure. It implies due notice to the individual of the proceeding, an opportunity to defend himself and the problem of the property of deprivation under the circumstances presented must be resolved in the manner consistent with essential fairness. It means essentially a fair and impartial trial and reasonable opportunity for the preparation of defense. So, there are essential requirements of the procedural due process in court as follow. So the first one is there must be a court of tribunal clothed with judicial power to hear and determine the matter before it. Second, jurisdiction must be lawfully acquired over the person of the defendant of over the property which is subject of the proceeding. Third, the defendant must be given an opportunity to be heard. And lastly, the judgment must be rendered upon lawful hearing. So, in many instances, communication and correspondence are inevitable in the tourism, travel, and hospitality industry. Because of its daily use, it is important to understand what laws may apply. So, according to the Section 3, first, the privacy of communication and correspondence shall be inviolable except upon lawful order of the court, or when public safety or order requires otherwise as prescribed by law. Then, second is any evidence obtained in violation of this or the proceeding section shall be inadmissible for any purposes in any proceeding. So, next is the form of correspondence and communication that are covered in their provision include letters, telegram, telephone calls, messages, and the like. Then, according to the Act number 4200, otherwise known as the Anti-Wiretapping Law, provides penalties for a specific violation of the privacy of communication. Under Section 3 of the Act, the court will authorize wiretaps in certain crimes such as treason, espionage, provoking wars, and disloyalty in case of war, piracy, mutiny in the high seas rebellion, conspiracy and proposal to commit rebellion, inciting rebellion, sedition, conferences to commit sedition, inciting to sedition, kidnapping, and other offenses against national security. So any evidence obtained in violation of the above shall be considered fruit from the poisonous tree, and shall not be admitted an evidence in any administrative or criminal proceeding. For example, the National Bureau of Investigation received a tip on a very important case that Bureau has been working on. It deals with the massive drug dealing using Hotel Suite as a meeting place of high-profile drug dealers. So the Bureau sought that cooperation of the hotel management for an entrapment operation. Wiretapping devices were installed. So the adjacent suite was reserved for NBI agents on a stakeout. Was the operation is legal and justified? So here's the legal opinion. So the operation is considered illegal in violation of Republic Act number 4200, and any evidence obtained by virtue of such wiretapping devices shall not be admissible of evidence in any administrative or criminal proceeding. So the massive drug dealing in violation of Dangerous Drug Act is not of the offenses which authorize wiretaps under the law. So it is the rule of statutory construction, and law must be strictly construed, and what law includes must not include. So next, for a labor-intensive industry like the tourism, travel, and hospitality industry, it is common to have a dispute between the labor sector and the management. Likewise, depiction of women and children in an exploitative manner has often happened in the past. Freedom of speech has to be understood in the rich context. So according to Section 4, no law shall be passed abridging the freedom of speech, of expression, or the press, or the right of people peaceably to assemble the petition that government for readiness of grievance. So, speech, expression, and the press include every form of expression, whether oral, tape, CD, or DVD recorded. Obscenity is defined as an include material which taking a whole appeal to the poignant interest and lacks serious literacy, artistic, political, or science value. Matters so classified is not protected under the free speech guarantee of the Constitution. Guidelines for the determining obscenity have changed through the years, but a material will be considered obscene when the following requires concur. So first, a subject as a whole appeals to the prurient interest of the average person using in contemporary community standard. Second, the work depicts or describes in apparently offensive way sexual conduct unprohibited by law. And lastly, the work of the whole lacks serious literacy, artistic, political, or scientific values. Next, every person has the right to travel and reside anywhere he's chosen. According to the Section 6, the liberty of abode and the changing the same within the limits prescribed by law shall not be impaired except upon lawful order of the court. Neither shall the right to travel be impaired except in the interest of national security, public safety, or public health as may be provided by law. Then, here's the discussion of law. So, a constitution provision guaranteed. So, first is a freedom to choose and change one's place of residence and dwelling place. And second is a freedom to travel within or outside the country. However, these constitution liberties are not absolutely right, for they can be regulated by the lawful order of the court. An order releasing a person accused of a crime or bail is similar to a lawful order of the court as contemptibly completed under the above provision, and the whole departure order may be issued, and this is necessary consequences of the function of the bail bond, which is a secure and person's appearance when needed. Next, the law. Once again, the labor-intensive nature of the tourism, travel, and hospitality industry elicit the possibilities of the union and association being formed to protect rights of employee. While there is a provision in the Constitution of this matter, a later discussion is covered by the chapter of labor law. According to Section 8, the right of the people include those employed in the public and private sectors to form union, associations of society for purposes not constantly to law shall not be abridged. So, discussion of law. Government employees are now given the right to form union. However, their right or strike did not include the right to form union. Unlike those employed in the private sector, government employees do not have the constitutional right to strike as a mandate under civil service rules and regulations prohibiting government employees to strike. Next, the national economy and patrimony rather. So, first, it is important to be informed of some of the constitutional provision of the national economy and patrimony because some are applicable to tourism. So, according to the Section 10, the Congress shall, upon recommendation of the Economic and Planning Agency, when the national interest dictates, reserve to citizens of the Philippines or to a corporation or association at least 60% room of whose capital is owned by such citizen or such higher percentage as Congress may prescribe certain areas of investments. So, in the grant of rights, privileges, and concessions covering the national economy and patrimony, the state shall give preference to a qualified Filipinos. So, the state shall regulate and exercise authority over foreign investment within its national jurisdiction and its accordance with its national goals of priorities. So, the law. Many multinational corporations want to invest in the Philippine tourism, travel, and hospitality industry. It is important to study to what extent and how they can invest. According to the Section 11, no franchise certificate or any other form of authorization for the operation of the public utility shall be granted except to the citizen of the Philippines, or to a corporation or the association organized under the laws of the Philippines, or the less 60% room of whose capitals is owned by such citizens, nor shall such franchise, certificate, or authorization be exclusive in character or for a longer period than 50 years. The country takes pride in developing skilled workforce ranging from blue-collar to white-collar job. So from managerial to entrepreneurial talents, from a scientist to artist, there is a provision in the law that limits practices of provisions. This may shortly change because of the reciprocity, especially with a certain agreement in the World Trade Organization covering movement of people and services will be implemented globally. So according to Section 14, the sustained development of the reservoir of national talents consisting of Filipino scientists, entrepreneurs, professionals, managers, or high-level technical manpower, and skilled worker and craftsmen is all fields shall be promoted by the state. So the state shall encourage appropriate technology and regulate its transfer for the national benefits. So the practices of all provisions in the Philippines shall be limited to the Filipino citizens, save in cases prescribed by law.
According to John Adams, but a constitution of government once changed from freedom can never be restored. Liberty, once lost, is lost forever.
So that's all about the Philippines Constitution of our country, the Philippines. Thank you.